Going on, Jerome's? Your Minnesota Vikings got a massive win week 2 against the San Francisco 49ers, and head coach Kevin O'Connell looking like a weekend soccer dad, just like out there holding the cup of coffee. Is there a little something extra in that coffee? Who knows? Who knows? But you are going to be at that ball field all damn day, so probably. So looking like a Land's End model. Where's the hat? Hey, hat model. Where's the hat? Also, it's funny. So Judd Zulgad basically is like, hey, why you look so tired? Why you look like crap? Oh, man, it's funny, man. But he said some stuff and said some things, running through. So injury updates first. Justin Jefferson thigh. O'Connell says he's feeling pretty good, but I don't know, is a routine soreness on that bruise? We'll see. But early returns say that Jefferson should be good to go. Now, he probably will be limited throughout this week of practice, but, I mean, it's Jefferson, and it is just a thigh, so it really is more about a pain tolerance thing. So, I mean, if it's still bothering him at game time against the Texans, is this a Dr. Feel-Good or lidocaine sort of situation? Possibly. So Jefferson, I'm not too worried. Turner left the game on Sunday, dinged up with a minor knee injury. Kevin O'Connell says that he's day-to-day. Aren't we all? But also, Turner was walking around and jumping around celebrating with his teammates after the game. So that's a good sign. Addison, didn't sound too enthused about Addison's ankle. Called it very much questionable, and he dropped the line. It's a long season. We're going to do what's in the best interest of Jordan Addison. So it wouldn't shock me at all if he misses this week. Frankly, it wouldn't shock me if Addison missed through the bye. And could the Vikings have put him on IR? Sure, and saved a roster spot, but I don't know. But either way, get him to 100%, especially with Jalen Speedy Naylor looking really damn good. Do that. Running game, so he praised Aaron Jones, even though Jones did come off the field in the 10th. And the fumble, obviously that was a big deal, but he did give a lot of credit to Fred Warner. So, bit of a wash there. But that was a turn point of the game. Could have been 27-7. Instead, it was 20-14 after they marched 99 yards. But Ty Chandler got some great work in there on the ground, 10 for 82, spelling Aaron Jones. Ran a burst, power, explosiveness. It's always good. Offensive line, tight ends. C.J. Ham had an efficient physical day up front. Wasn't perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but overall, they did a decent job protecting Sling and Sam Darnold, and the run game, against a very tough defensive front, certainly was there. Jalen Speedy Naylor. He says it's no surprise, and he's really happy for Naylor because, knocking on all the wood, Naylor's had that talent. It's just been injuries have cost him time and opportunity, but looking really damn good. Also talked about his versatility, playing multiple receiver spots at the end, like that third down throw from Darnold, which was onions. And that was a Justin Jefferson route, so he's playing JJ's spot at the Z. Also, lauded Speedy escorting JJ on the Jets on the 97-yard touchdown run. Also, of course, talked about the ref and how flipped the hips seamlessly. I mean, did the ref play some college cornerback back in the day? I mean, that was pretty good. Yeah. Also, the third down throw on 3rd and 8. Called it about as big of a throw as you'll see. It was an absolute great pitch and catch, back shoulder from Darnold to Jalen Speedy Naylor. Also, so the Vikings, they had some nice screens, but he talked about how it could have been better blocking up the screens. Now, in practices, he says it's a little bit tough to simulate the physicality that is required of them. But he also said that if they were able to get to the safety on the Aaron Jones fumble on that screen, that maybe he just walks into the end zone. So that's the thing I liked about this game. I mean, the Vikings handled the Niners, but there's a lot of things to work on. A lot of things where this team can still improve and get even better. Also, talked about depth and versatility at edge rusher. Shouted out Jonathan Gennard, who's leading the league in pressures. Leading the team in pressures with 12. Adrian Van Ginkel, doing versatile things all over the place. Diamond Dallas Turner. So even though Turner was kind of muted in his game against the Niners, didn't have a sack like he did against the Giants, but he talked about having some amazing reps against Trent Williams, one of the best in the business. And I mean, that's what Turner has to do. Like, he's got to be best against best, and he is getting a and education out there. Patrick Jones second, leading the team in sacks. Love to see that. Also, Hadi Ward, Mr. Inside Outside, can do everything. Also, of course, him coming up with that big fumble recovery as well. Plus, shout out Taki Tamani, who had 2 tackles and helped plug things up against the run, as well as Jonah Williams coming up from the practice squad, was involved in a number of high-end pressures, gave the team some great reps against the 49ers. Plus, he talked about how the rotation in the front 7, like if you keep the snap count low, you're going to get better versions of these players later in games and later in the season. And that's some of them that we talked about, where it seems like the first time in forever, the Vikings have legitimate depth all over the place, especially that front 7. And those Zimmer defenses were great. They weren't necessarily the deepest teams in the league, but this one, I mean, the Vikings go 5 deep at edge. They go 4, 5, 6 deep at defensive line. They're deep in the secondary. I mean, this defense is a lot of fun. And also, being so flexible with the personnel up front allows Flores to do a lot of really creative things every single week. Every single game plan is going to be different, which is glorious. I love that, man. Also, re-stress physicality. So the Vikings had a great full padded practice last Wednesday. Really got them ready for the Niners. And I feel like that's the thing too. Like, they'll never admit it, but they are trying to model themselves after the 49ers. Just physicality in all phases, especially in the trenches. And, you know, that's old school meat and potato football. And that's exactly what the Vikings have done this offseason. I love that O'Connell's basically just set up straightforward, hey, we're going to be more physical. We're going to have tougher ass practices. And you know, we're just going to work it out from there. Also talks about how consistency and discipline is everything, where, hey, you can celebrate this win, but you're on to the next one. And he always talks about preparation. He always talks about focus on the next task, focus on all that stuff. And, yeah, that's basically all that you need to do. Process over results. Also, always cognizant of sports science, so he's making sure that these guys get rest. And that's why injury reports, you know, if guys suddenly pop up on the injury report and it doesn't say, you know, DNP rest, if it's something else out there, you know, it's same thing with Harrison Smith. So don't really stress it that much, as guys are going to get rest, especially since they expanded this to a 17-game season. And now the Vikings have eyes of potentially going on a deep run. So having these guys healthy, having these guys rested late into the season, it's really important. Also, was very proud of the conditioning of the team against the Niners. I mean, you saw like a bunch of guys were gassed out there, but overall they kept holding the line. They kept up the fight. Some 49ers had to dip out and get IVs. I mean, it was hot. The doors were open. So it was a tough test. Right. And then lastly, you know, talked about supreme confidence in Sam Darnold. And this quote is really good. O'Connell, quote, I don't really have a lot of interest in talking about the past with Sam Darnold. I think we all need to just start being totally present. And when he plays like he has, we just talk about a guy playing the position at a high level and we move on. So, you know, O'Connell has addressed, well, hey, Darnold was a number 3 overall pick, and Darnold didn't work out with the Jets, didn't work out with the Panthers. A lot of people wrote him off as a bust, but now he's playing some damn good football. But the first line is always, hey, Darnold's a bust, but now he's playing good. Now, how about just the guy who's playing good? That's it. I think O'Connell's sort of sick and tired of hearing all the narratives and getting all the questions like, oh, how did you resurrect this bust? No, it's a very talented guy who's in the best situation of his football career, and he's showing up and showing out. And that's exactly what's happening right now. But that's it. Your thoughts are our thoughts. Kevin O'Connell Monday presser. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skull production value.